I told David like several months ago that I would love to know what really happened to Adolf Hitler at the end of World War II. Like, did he really kill himself in Berlin, or did he and the other Nazi leaders escape to Antarctica? But I'm very well aware that this more than likely ventures into inner reptilian politics, perhaps. How do you feel about exploring this topic? Should we just avoid going into it?
We don't care much about particular individual, yes, as is the more influential in your work, particularly was rich, not so much the empire, as he played a role during the war, which then was turned into a richness. The imperial side influenced to a certain degree this political aspect, or mostly from what we insinuated the SS, not one particular individual, such as the Hitler person, which for what we're aware ventured off in your South American continent, just like many others, as well as those that venture on your North American continent had much of a bigger impact on the evolution of both yours as well as the Wattle's space program. Yes, this particular individual simply did not fulfill its designed task entirely. There was there from some degree discarded from your aware of it's still ordered to a certain degree by the members that venture off or the colonies that were originally affiliated with the individual, but from where they did not take him with them. Part of history, simply. What we're more caring about are those individuals that venture of space that have been somewhat injected to the empire itself. They are part of our space fleet, as you might call such. Yes? Not necessarily any particular individual played a role on Earth, it says a particular period of time that was past.
Right. I may have misunderstood you, but did you say that the Nazis that ventured off into space left Hitler behind on Earth?
To some degree, yes, they left him behind, but quite aware he died in Antarctica or South America, from where he did not venture off the planet, unlike some others that allegedly offed themselves, you're going such, yes?
Right.
But mostly those that remember a certain secret society that were more in charge, like the Freemasonic groups were in charge of your country, yes? They are head start, so to speak.
Okay. Now it's well documented that Richard Byrd led a large expedition of ships and aircraft to Antarctica in late 1946 and early 1947, officially to set up a research base in Operation Highjump. Do you know if they were really hunting the last Nazis, like many people believe?
Well, they weren't really the last. They had since then already ventured off in space, but there was a certain colony. There was originally one in your Canada region, yes, that was located at the end of what you said the European War, perhaps, but officially the World War ended, but really just the one Europe ended. It was moved from northern Canada to largely the South American continent, when you consider today Neuschwabenland in the Westwards. Ductus, yes? This particular region was then inhabited by certain groups of, from we're aware of the Kriegsmarine, rather the German Navy, right? They set up bases on there, those that did not venture in space at least. It has since then been sold to certain groups concerning the Illuminati, yes. Like before the 70s, however, there are also some negotiations, and since then the grouping down there has made some contracts also with the RSR Federation, our groups are stored on your planet. So those that founded the caverns there, we gave them some of them that were already there since millions of years, yes, and some since thousands of years, more Her's monkey nature, but also from off the planet in the Anunnaki perhaps. And then they set up their bases there for a certain while before it was sold again to some groups you might consider Illuminati. And then the remnants of those groups also ventured in space. And the Byrd tried to invade, failed afterwards. Your country also tried to detonate a nuke on there, and also did not make much of a destruction, or there were higher advanced ET technologies that were used later after it was sold to the Illuminati against this base. But that was after the groupings from the vessels reached had already left for the moon.
Right. Um, So do you know what?
Evacuation, yes.
Right, right. Do you know what happened during the Richard Byrd expedition? Like, did they really were they successful in discovering any Nazis in Antarctica?
Yes, but not just those, also some allied that might have been from underground that also did not like their interference with their base there.
So were there any battles between the U.S. and the Nazis and their allies?
Yes, certainly. That's why they're left quickly.
Uh, did this battle involve Nazi flying saucers, like some people believe?
Certainly. Not just their sort, also some from underground.
Uh,
Allies. Yes.
so were there any what we call dogfights between like U.S. aircrafts and the Nazi or their allies UFOs?
It was rather a swift and quick operation, since they obviously did not expect that much resistance. There were not armed for a particular conflict, nor did they have weaponry at this particular time that was on par or even close. This might have changed by now, but then there was a technological advantage of the inhabitants of such base.
So what happened? Was it like the UFOs just attacked the U.S. Navy ships, or
And
did they
the
get
airplanes, yes.
okay? So there were aircrafts in the air fighting UFOs, like in so-called dogfights.
Some almost fired, yes. Most got rarely off the ground and then immediately scattered. There was not a long fight, what you sort of dog fight that from we're aware of now between like your airplanes that you have a lot in your First World War, right?
Right.
It was a rather swift and quick conflict. Most airplanes were taken out immediately, the ships were sunk. Some were also already on landed on land, yes, before they were discovered, they were also left there. We're aware of prisoners were made, but it's likely.
Uh, do you know how many U.S. ships were sunk?
No, but at least a couple.
Okay.
Three likely at least.
Okay. All right.
Among them a large destroyer or aircraft carrier, that's what we're aware of.
Right. Right. Well, okay. Cool. Thanks for providing information on that. I've been wondering that for months. So, okay, it's good to have some resolution. So, okay, so Hitler didn't go to the moon. Okay, good to know.
Trump we're aware, yes. The moon base was set up by his what you said, predecessor.